2, 1, बोलो।
किसी मुझे बोलना है क्या? सॉरी। मुझे लगा तुम शुरुआत से बोलोगे।
Hello everybody, welcome to the Sunday League Pundits channel. First of all, I'd like to give a big thank you to everybody who watched our first video and subscribed. We just hit 100 subscribers, so we are really thankful to everybody who subscribed. Now we are on the road to 200, and it would mean a lot to us if you would subscribe to our channel and stay tuned for more content like this.
So this is our second video where we are going to discuss the Champions League group stage and take our hot takes on it. So let's begin, Achint. What's your take on the Group A?
Group A, I think it's a pretty two-horse race in Group A. I think Bayern Munich.
I think it's a one-horse race in Group A right now.
Bayern Munich is going to come first, and Atletico will be second, and the rest of them you can see they are really UCL minnows. So Salzburg and Lokomotiv will fall short, and I think Salzburg will finish in the Europa League spots. What about you?
I think it's the same. I mean, there's not much to offer. I mean, Atletico have lost Partey. I mean, they have signed Suarez, but I don't think Torreira is going to be a good replacement for Partey. So I think I can see them finishing second. Obviously, they have more than enough for Lokomotiv Moscow and Salzburg, obviously. So it's an easy group. I mean, it's Bayern first and Atletico second. What about the second one? I mean, it's a good group, I would say. I mean, Shakhtar are very good at home. And obviously Inter, with the signings they made, Borussia Mönchengladbach, I mean, it's the first time in the Champions League, but I think they have a good team, and obviously the record time winners of the Champions League, Real Madrid.
Yeah, I think this group could be a little, it could have its twists and turns, but yeah, I think Shakhtar is the
I could see losing Real Madrid losing away to Borussia Mönchengladbach. What do you think?
They could. You never know. They really got a hammering by Ajax in last year's Champions. So, Real Madrid's away form is a little dodgy, and they haven't really. I think their signings have not been really up to par as well this season.
Yeah, they've not signed anyone this season.
Yeah, they haven't been really signed. They got Odegaard back from loan, and I think it's a lot of responsibility for his first full season at Madrid. So we would really remain to be seeing how he performs. Isco is not really in complete confidence that that's attacking midfield places somewhere they could Real Madrid
I don't
may
get
fall.
the thing with Zidane. Sorry to just cut you in. I mean, when James and Isco were back at the club, he never played with the number 10. I mean, Isco played there sometimes in some matches. I mean, in his first stint, not in the second. I mean, in neither the first or the second stint, he never played James in the number 10 role. I mean, he's playing there Odegaard now, and Kroos and Modric have gone back to a tradition more number 6. I mean, they're playing a 4-2-3-1 right now. I mean, if he wants to give Odegaard that chance, why did he give James that chance? I mean, James is obviously a better player than Odegaard.
Yeah, they played a 4-3-3 mostly under Zidane. They had Casemiro and Holding and Kroos and Modric besides him. But yeah, so I think Zidane is looking to change the system this season, and Odegaard he's going to play in this position he played in Sociedad. So let's see how he plays.
I mean, it's his best position. What do you think about the homecoming of Achraf Hakimi? I mean,
I think Real Madrid made a big mistake in selling Hakimi. I think Carvajal is a great centre back, but Hakimi is more potent attacking or going forward. We really saw it.
Hakimi is you can see he's a liability at the back. I mean, Carvajal is not a very good defensive right back, but I mean he's more solid than Hakimi would.
But I think Zidane has his favourites. You could clearly see like Bale has gone and James has gone. So I think Carvajal is his go-to man. So that's why he's probably sold Hakimi. But yeah, I think Inter Milan is like a retirement 11. I think Conte signed all the players past 32, 33, and they got Kolarov. They got.
United reject. Darmian has also joined Inter Milan on the deadline day.
Yeah, I think Inter. Conte, he has his signings. Conte it's his second season in charge, so I think we can expect a stronger display from Inter. So I think it could be close between Inter and Madrid for the first place, for the top spot. Yeah, and I think Shakhtar is just a Europa League mainstay. They always find themselves back in the Europa League.
I think it's going to be hard for Mönchengladbach this season. I mean, they have not signed anyone this season. I mean, only they've taken Lazaro from loan from Inter. I mean, I don't know whether he's eligible to play against Inter or not. I mean, it's only in the Premier League, not seen much in the European competition. So let's see what happens. I'm also going Shakhtar third and Mönchengladbach fourth.
Yeah.
What about the Group C?
Group C, I think we just know like another year Manchester City gets an easy group. I think they paid their fine all the way up to the group stage, so it's really a lot. So yeah, I think City is going to finish top. I don't think anybody else is really going to challenge them. I think Marseille, UCL after a long time, and Olympiacos and Porto are really, they're like in comparison to City, they're not really much of a match.
I mean,
who do you think is
they've got too much for every team in the group. Second, I'm going to go with Porto. I don't know why, but I mean the fans. That Olympiacos is not gonna have fans in the stadium, which I think is a major concern for them. I mean, obviously, when 60,000 are in their stadium, it's a different kettle of fish for any team. But right now, I think it will. I can see Porto finishing second, maybe Marseille in the Europa League, and Olympiacos going fourth.
Yeah. What about Group D? Liverpool.
Group D. I mean, it has some very interesting fixtures right now. I mean, Atalanta, Ajax, and Liverpool play some free-flowing football, and I mean, no disrespect to Midtjylland. I mean, they beat Man United 4 or 5 years ago. So I mean, but I think they are being outmatched by every team. I think obviously Liverpool is gonna carve open Atalanta. I think this season. I mean, the brand they play football right now, the brand of football is very attacking. But as you saw against PSG, I mean, the brand of football is very good, but the players are not up to the mark, especially the defenders. I mean, it's very tolling on the players in the 90 minutes. I mean, you could see they were getting tired. What do you think about the Ajax this season? How far can they go?
I'll come to Ajax. I just wanted to ask you about Liverpool. You saw, like, I don't know, the Aston Villa result is not really a lot to go by, but they really got thumped by Aston Villa. And we really saw that their high line got punished a lot. They got caught up. Pressing was not up to mark. So do you think Atlanta, team which is very attacking...
Did you see the Richarlison photo that he tweeted after the 7-2 loss?
Yeah. That was really funny.
I mean, Shithouse reacted his best.
Yeah. I think Atlanta and Ajax could punish them because both of them are pressing sides. And I think they can catch Liverpool with their high line. So we could see a few upsets here and there. So I don't think it will be completely.
There will be upsets. I mean, it was one of match which happened. I mean, you don't expect Liverpool to lose 7-2 every weekend to a mediocre team. I mean, obviously Atlanta and Ajax are very good teams. I mean, much better than Aston Villa. No disrespect to Aston Villa, but I mean, they are very good teams. But I don't think. I mean, they could cause Liverpool. They will cause Liverpool problems, but I think Liverpool have got enough.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think Atlanta will finish second. I think their last season was their first in the Champions League, and they really showed their attacking player and their potency going forward. And Atlanta, they're not going to have any problems attacking, but yeah, defensively they could be a little troubled. But I don't think Ajax has really lost a lot of its players.
Ajax has lost of its players. I mean, most of the team from the 2018 semi-final has gone right now. So let's see what happens. What do you think about Group E? Are Chelsea going to sail through? I mean, they have Sevilla and Rennes have lost a few players. But
I'm going to pick Sevilla for the first. I'm going to pick Sevilla for the first spot because I think
I'm also Sevilla for the first spot.
They really finished strong come the end of last season, and they won Europa League, and they really have a really good system in place, and Lopetegui has a lot of all his players are fit for his position. They also signed 2 new wingers. They signed Idrissi. He had a really good season in the Eredivisie last season, and really add to their wing options. And I think in terms of the system as well, I think Lopetegui knows his players better than Lampard does. I feel, because as we discussed in the last video, like Lampard has a lot of selection problems, and that could end up in him losing a couple of fixtures. But apart from like Sevilla, they don't really have any other challenger. I think they are not Champions League regulars at all, so I don't think see them causing any sort of problems to Chelsea and Sevilla.
If they face Krasnodar away from home, I mean, in the Russian winter, it could be a bit of a problem for Chelsea. I mean, otherwise, I don't think there's a major cause for concern other than Sevilla. What about the Group F?
Group F, yeah, this is also a pretty straightforward group as well. Dortmund and Lazio are going to finish on the first and second, I feel. Dortmund, they have Haaland is really firing, and in the Bundesliga as well, and they have a really potent attacking line. Sancho is still there, contrary to what I felt. I think I was really like hell bent on him coming, but yeah, we really saw how great United's transfer window was.
Let's not begin on United, right?
Yeah, they still have Sancho in place. So they have and Reina really had a good first season in the Bundesliga last season, and he could be a good player.
He has started really well this season also. I mean, he provided I think a couple of assists, hat-trick of assists in the last game.
And they have Reina, who started the season really well. And they have Bellingham is also someone we really think he's going to come in the first team immediately, but his performance is really cemented that he will come in. And I think Lucien Favre has a good selection of players to move forward from the group stage easily. What about you? What do you think about Lazio?
Lazio was really torrid Europa League last season. I mean, they lost at home to Celtic. I mean, they finished third and exited the group stage, which was really underwhelming. But this season, I think I could see them finishing second. How Immobile fights in the Champions League, and I think Zenit and Bruges. I mean, Bruges performed really well against Real Madrid last season, but I think they're going to finish fourth in this group, and Zenit is going to take the Europa League spot. What about the Group G, Anish?
Group G, they have Messi-Ronaldo reunion. I think that's going to be one for the fans. It's going to be really enjoyable to see them
Sometimes I feel the Champions League draws are really exciting. Sometimes I really feel that. I mean, there were some reports back in 2013 or 14 that and Sepp Blatter admitted that he fixed Champions League draws. Sometimes I feel that these draws are fixed. Anyways, let's move on.
I think seeing City's group, I think I really agree with you. So I think but yeah, I think this is also two-horse race. I think Varos and Dynamo Kiev don't really match up to Juventus and Barcelona in their firepower at all.
Ferencváros have their first season back. I mean, it's the first season in the Champions League. I mean, they get to play Messi and Ronaldo. I think you can't ask for more.
Yeah. So I think this is also I think Juventus could finish
first.
Who do you think
who is going to finish first?
They could be both because both of them have new managers. Koeman is also new and Pirlo is new. But I think Juventus could have problems with Pirlo. His first season in management, and it's really against a good opposition in Barca for the first spot. So Barca could finish first, but I don't see Juventus really being out of the shout for the first place. I think it could go either way very easy.
What about the group of death?
I think this is the group I was dreading, you could say, but some fixtures you look forward to as well. So United, I think even Istanbul.
I mean, United fans are used to Europa League fixtures, so it's a bit of a different feel this time.
Yeah. So
playing away to Wi-Fi passwords. I mean, I think you really miss that.
The jersey you are wearing is that team is in the Europa League right now, so you can't really say much.
I think we are going to win the Europa League and get in the Champions League. In Arteta we trust.
Emery really won the Europa League, so you got beat by Chelsea comprehensively. So,
PSG is going to take the first place. For me, I think they've got the best squad in the group.
Yeah, second spot, I think I'm going to go with Man United. Not really just because I'm going out of emotion, but I think we have better squad overall better squad than Leipzig. It could really
they've lost a few important players.
Yeah,
lost by the Crystal Palace region.
And he had a really great season at Trabzonspor, so they slot in for Werner straight away. So they could cause problems. They were semi-finalists, so you can't take them for granted at all. I feel Nagelsmann is a really good and upcoming coach in world football, and it really remains to be seen. I think our group stage could be, could spell the end for our manager, which I really don't want it to. So let's see how.
I can see United finishing. I can see Ole getting the sack if United finish third in the group, and you are languishing mid-table come the end of December or January. I mean, I could see United Ole getting the sack.
I want it to happen, but I think it's really a same cycle every 2 years. We really see what happens. I think it happened again and again, so I'm not really going to discuss on that topic because it's going to go on and on. But let's see. I just hope United play well in the Champions League. We have Cavani as well, and he could punish PSG.
Your new number 7, by the way.
Yeah, he could get his revenge against Neymar. He had a falling out with Neymar. That's why he left PSG. A lot of reports say that. He might come back to haunt Neymar, so let's see.
I mean, this time Neymar would not take away his penalty.
Yeah, That would be the case. Let's see. I think PSG is probably going to finish first. There's no debate. But let's say about second spot. Who are you picking? Leipzig or United?
I'm going to go United at second. I think they have a good. I mean, Leipzig have lost some very good quality players. I mean, Sorloth has Sorloth played really well in the Turkish league, but let's see what happens in the Bundesliga. I mean, it's different quality. So I don't think he's going to get the same number of goals. I mean, obviously he's going to score a few goals, but I don't think he's going to get the winner number. So I'm going to go Leipzig third, United second.
So this wraps up our Champions League hot takes. Let us know if you guys agree or don't agree with our takes on the UCL draw down below in the comments. And big thanks to everybody who tuned in till the last minute and watched the video. So it do mean a lot to us if you subscribe. Remember, we are on the road to 200, and every subscription counts. So big thank you to everybody again, and stay tuned.